What do you think the attributes that you have that lend to success for you?
Just caring about my clients, selling in integrity.
You're expanding
Right.
your network, and they're
Yeah.
going to love you for it because Hi, everybody. My name is James Becker, and I am the founder and CEO of Fusion Growth Partners. One of the reasons why you might listen to what it is that I'm having to say and to consider some of the thoughts is because I have built from scratch one of the largest mega organizations or teams in the country. We currently have close to 850 top real estate agents that work and partner with my organization, and I have over 300 employees that support these agents. Last year, our agents sold over $6 billion in real estate, producing well over $150 million in gross commissions earned. I hope you find what I'm sharing interesting, insightful, and helpful for your business. So I'm going to go through your due north here real quick. Your due north is family. I feel like you need to be able to take care of them without putting myself in a financial bind. Tell me a little bit about that. Who is the family that you need to take care of?
Well, really, it's a lot. It's my sister, and my sister she has three kids. They're all grown now, but you know how that is. And just one of her kids, well, two of them are. One of them is in graduate school, and the other one's getting ready to graduate next month from medical school. So anyway, so all
An
of the
impressive, an impressive family.
yeah. So anyway, so she was they when the kids were born, she was a widow early, and so anyway, so I've always just been able to help her out with those kids because she receives disability. Well, she did
Okay.
at one point, but now she's not receiving disability, so she receives widow's pay. But it's not a lot, and so she does some other things, taxes, and also she does some property management. So things are better for her, but still, be a little tough. So that's where I always help out
Well,
there.
sounds like her kids are going to be in a really good position to take care of her at some point in the future.
Yes, yes, my they do now what they can. They're like I said, they were both in school, but now my niece is going to be moving to Florida, and so she is, going to be starting her residency, and she did the Air Force program, so she's going to be actually working at Eglin Air Force Base, and then she'll do
Good
four
for her.
years in the military after that because they paid for medical school.
Your sister has two really high functioning kids. She must be a really good mom and a good sister.
Yeah, she is. She is. So she has three. So the other one is still on the struggle bus, but there's always one. Yeah,
That's
but
why
those
I'm
two.
glad I only have two kids because you increase those odds of having kids on the struggle bus for sure, right? The more you
Yeah.
have. Do you have any kids, Margie?
No,
No.
no, I don't
Okay.
have any kids.
Now you say you want to be debt free. How much debt do you have?
Too much. Right now, let's see. I have like 15,000 in IRS debt I'm trying to pay off. And then just paying off a balance some credit cards, which I just paid some off recently to get a lower loan. But so I guess about 40, about
About
40,000
40,000.
off. Mm-hmm.
What is your average sales price, Margie?
Average sales price since prices have gone, I would say, is around. I looked at the other day. I think it's around 250. 250 is what it.
250?
250,000. Well, 239. I think is what it said online. It's what it said. It's about 239.
It says here in your due north, you want to get to 100 transactions per year. What is
Yes.
the motivating factor for what does 100 sales do for you?
And 100 sales would actually do a lot. At 100 sales, I feel like I would be able to pay off all my debt. But the main reason, I guess, it was just like a goal that I always just had in the back of my head. If I do 100 transactions, I try every year to get to at least 50 transactions, and or more. And so I hadn't quite made it to 50 transactions. I don't think I'm always very close, but I hadn't made it. Even that's with being in two markets because I'm actually licensed in Georgia also.
Okay, so I'm not sure you answered my question though. So if you got to 100 transactions, what would that do for you?
Feeling wise, emotionally wise, I would be elated because I feel like I would actually be one of the real estate agents in the big pool of agents. I just think 100 transactions is saying a lot. It's saying a lot for my, you know, for my business that
So
I've reached a high goal.
being recognized as one of the top agents, a mega producer, someone who's very successful, what would that do for you?
That way, I just can't even explain how I would feel. I guess I just would feel so elated to know that that I'm recognized as being a top. See, I've been top producer of line local markets, but to be in the mega pool would just say a lot to me. Just say that I would have obtained a goal that I always wanted.
So being elated, what does that do for you? Take your
I
time. Take your time. Think about it for a second. We're in no rush. We got a full 45, 50 minutes here.
I guess I can't even describe it. I would just be, I don't know. I guess I would just be just overjoyed just to know it's like I guess it'll be like crossing a finishing line. If I was jogging and running a race in a marathon, it'll be like crossing a finishing line. That okay, you've done it, and I feel like I guess if I got to that point and I've done that, then I would like to continue to do that. But if I didn't, I still would just be I would be feel like I have reached the finish line that I have been able to do it.
So that sense of accomplishment of reaching the top of Mount Everest, that's kind of your Mount Everest, right?
Yes.
You would be financially better off, financially stable. What would that do for you?
Being financially stable, no debt would do a lot because I would then be able to give back. I believe in really giving back, and I like to be able to I don't know, just bless as many people as I could, and long as that mine, retirement and everything was secure, and that I'm secure and don't have to worry about bills at all. That just saves a lot because the more you give, to me, it's just I don't know, the sky's just the limit to me because feel like the Lord just blesses you back, and I really like to give. Just always
What kind,
been that way.
and when you're giving, what does that do for you?
It makes me feel really I don't know, it's just like I don't know if I can explain it. It's just a really good feeling. It's kind of like when you watch one of these movies that have a really good ending and it just gives you that little happy feeling in your heart. But just to know that you've helped somebody that really didn't have it. That's just a great feeling to me. To be able to just bless people if I could.
Fulfilling, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great feeling. It's not a feeling of envy or boasting or boasting about it or anything, but just a good feeling that you can help people out because as the word says, the poor will always be among us. So you always just want to feel. I just always want to feel like to be able to give back, and I think that's just a true testament to my business now that I give a lot. And I just been blessed with referrals and so much just from that.
So your average sales price is about 250, right?
Hmm.
What brokerage are you at?
What broker?
Yes.
My broker, my local broker in Birmingham, Brandy
What is
Fagan.
it? It's a small boutique brokerage.
No, because we now have actually like 6 locations, and so we're a branch
Okay.
in the Birmingham area. But yes, we're right now. I think one of the largest minority-owned brokerages in the southeast.
So how many realtors are in your brokerage?
In the local in the Birmingham office, we have I think about 50.
50. Okay.
About 50. And the main office is located in Atlanta. The Atlanta office have over 200 agents.
Okay. And how do you rank among the agents in your local office and in the company?
In the local office, I rank. I'm either gonna be. I'm really well. I'm not. Most time, every year, I'm usually number one. So I think I was
Yep.
number one this year. If I'm not number one, I'm number two because it's a somebody that I trained years ago. He and I are always number one, number two. So every month I'm usually number one most of the months. And at the end of the year, last year I was top producer last year, and I was top producer this year. I think he had one unit more so than me, but other than numbers, then I was number one.
So what do you think the attributes that you have that lend to success for you?
It's really just caring about people more so than about the dollar. I'm not a check chaser. And so just really just caring about my clients and making sure that the properties that they buy, they sell, and selling in integrity. It's got to be what, and that's what I'm always told. And that's what it is. I try to make sure that no client has a bad experience with me, even if I have to pay something. I gave up commission just on a last deal last time just because the client felt like, I don't know, he was a little loony. But anyway, we gave up. I gave up my commission just so because he was wanting to back out of the deal, and the buyer was going to sue him and win. And so to keep that, it was a small land deal. So to keep it, I just said, okay, no problem. I would just give you back the commission so that he felt like the seller felt like he made more money than he felt comfortable with. So I just gave up my commission. It's about $1,300 because I had to pay a 250 transaction fee. So I just gave it back to him so he would be happy. And so it
So
worked.
in our process, have you read my business plan that we send out?
I have.
So do you remember what the number one fundamental is?
Service. I can't remember off the
It's
top of my head.
becoming the agent that you would hire yourself.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
it's so funny because if I speak every once in a while and I'll ask who here would hire themselves, and everybody raises their hand. I think to myself and sometimes say it, bull dookie. Like a lot of those people, they don't answer the telephone calls. They're more worried about the commissions than they are the clients. They don't do what they say they're going to do. They don't show up on time. And being the agent, it sounds so trite that you would hire yourself. It sounds so ridiculous, but it's really hard to do. And just talking with you, I can tell that you are the agent you would hire. And what that means is a lot of things. That one, you should not be embarrassed to market yourself because I'm making a statement. You can tell me if you agree with this or not, but that if someone doesn't choose you, most likely they're not going to get the level of service that they would have gotten with you if they're with the run-of-the-mill agent. Would you agree with that?
I agree.
Yeah. And so without you even having to say that, when you show up, people feel that. I believe that. I believe that if you are right sized in your purpose on what you're doing, you have to make money and you have to be profitable. But if you want to make sure that you're doing a good job for your people, and that is of a high priority, that comes through. You have a presence that's rare. And what that presence is a feeling of power and safety, and yet there's a lot of sweetness that's with you too. It reminds me of my fifth grade teacher, Mrs. Reed. Now, you wouldn't want to cross Mrs. Reed, but she cared about all of her students and she had this warmth about her, but there was this boundary. And I think this is one of the reasons why people choose you to do business with you. Would you agree with that? Does that ring true for you?
Yes, that rings true with me because if I'm cross, I won't go back that way.
Yeah. Okay, so if we're at 6250 in commissions, we want to be at 500,000 divided by 6250. That's 80 transactions. Okay, so have you gone through the ROI spreadsheet?
Yes,
Okay, I want to just do that here real quick. You know what the length of time people stay in their homes in Alabama?
I would say 3 years. I would say 3 to 4 years.
That's turning over really, really fast. Let's see what ChatGPT says. 8 years is what ChatGPT says, which is still,
Pretty quick.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So
haven't
right
went
now we have 373 people in our all-in SOI.
hmm
Okay, if we add, so with all the marketing we do, and if people have been in your database for 2 years, getting everything that we're doing consistently, if a person in your database needs to make a change, needs to move, with all the marketing and what they know that you do, what is the percentage that you think you'll have an opportunity to at least interview for the listing?
I would say I say the opportunity would be, I would say, a 90% chance.
90%. Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't doubt that at all. Okay. Average sales price 250. And is your average commission 2.5% or 3%?
It's usually 2.5%.
Okay,
We
very good.
this year we trying I pushing myself more this time to get 3, since the rules change with the NARS element. So I usually
Yeah.
get 3%, trying now to do that. Stop cheating myself so much.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to just share this with you here for a second.
Okay.
The average length of time in Alabama that someone owns their home is 8 years. So currently, right now, you have 373 people in your database. And if you add one more new friend per week into the database, so 4 per month, out of that number, the number of homes that potentially will sell is about 47. Now, in bad years, it's going to be less than that. In good years, it's going to be more, but that's just kind of an average. So you have about 13%, which is a really high number. So this is a good place to be in market. If you're going to get 90% to interview for the job, and I believe you would get 90% of that business, that would mean that you have 42 interviews for the job and you would take 38 listings. Okay. Now, making the assumption that half of those people are going to either buy in the same area, meaning that they're moving up or they're moving down, not moving out, at least 50%. And if you got 90% of that business, that would be another 17 transactions. So from that, that would be a total of 55 transactions. And I'm assuming we'll just drop this down to 25%. So for every 4 listings that you have, you get one more deal, either from a sign call or a double end deal or a neighbor calls on the sign and you list with them, something along those lines. That sound about right?
Yes.
Okay. We're suggesting here is that you're spending at least $2 per person in your SOI, and that would be at a minimum. So if we take the numbers here and we just play the long game, because everything I do is there's no immediate fix, right? Things take time to build, and you've already built a really good business. And so if you go out And how long have you been with us?
I think I'm coming up on September with I think would be 2 years in September.
Okay, great. So you're doing
When I
great. Two
first
years
started.
in September. You've been with us for 2 years?
I think it'll be 2 years in
That's
September.
terrific. I
I
can't
think.
believe I haven't met you yet. All right. Do you come to my trainings on when I do the trainings?
On Wednesdays.
Okay, great. Awesome. Okay. So what
I just
happens
started.
is with that amount that you have, and if you can keep adding to the database, and this is what's critical, okay? If we go out 5 years and we just do that same math over and over and over again, that would take you to a a gross revenue of about $50,000 per month, almost $600,000 per year. Your expense for marketing is about 14,000 per year. With gifts closed, if you're buying the boxes, the moving boxes, which I would definitely be doing, and maybe a nice closing gift, that would be 24,000. And then I would hire one or two people because the more time you have out spending to meet people, the bigger that network is going to grow. And the bigger the network, the more valuable your business is going to be. So I have set aside in our thing 20% of your gross commission. Now, it could be less than that, but let's just say you have a couple of backup dancers. You've heard me talk about the Beyonce backup dancers business model. Okay. So you're Beyonce, we need a couple of backup dancers, makes the show a little bit better. And why this is so important is because as your business grows, you have to be able to allocate your time, which is your greatest resource, in the areas that are going to give you the highest return on that time. Okay. And what that means is you should be negotiating deals. You should be meeting people, putting people into the database. You should be going on listing appointments, and you should be nurturing those relationships. You are the front man, the front woman of the business. Okay. So running around meeting appraisers, meeting home inspectors, opening homes, that is something that produces less results and less income in the long run. And so one of the fundamentals that we have is you are the CEO of your business. And I want you to look at your business as a big business. And if you're the CEO, you have to allocate your capital, your human resources, all the things that a regular CEO would do. And you have to allocate those things to get the best return possible. And so for us, most of that value or resources is in our time. And we have to jealously guard that time, jealously guard that time because it's so valuable. And one of the things, you're a giver, that's clear, okay? And so when people ask you for your time, you usually give it. And in some cases, you can do that, but you have to really kind of think, okay, is this person going to help me grow a bigger business? Because the bigger the business, the more you can do for your community and the more you can do for your loved ones, right? So if we use Warren Buffett as an example, Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, he'll probably pass away here in the next few years. He's almost 90 years old, so he's getting to that particular age, but 100% is going to charity.
Wow.
Hundreds of millions of dollars to help the world be better. And his mindset was not to give it away right away because he could make more money, he could do more. And I don't know if you know very much about him, but he lives in the same humble house that he lived when he was in his early 30s. Like he never moved out of the regular suburb in Omaha, Nebraska. So for him to do the most that he can, he has to be very careful with where he's spending his time. And so I think that you're doing a good job on that, but we're going to get back to that. But this long term vision here of just adding people to the database, managing the nurturing of that database, and providing great service over a period of time will provide a huge return. But you have to allow the time and the process to go. And it sounds like we're doing that. So I'm going to stop sharing this for a minute. Isn't this interesting that this spreadsheet suggests that you would be doing 94 deals a year,
It is interesting.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, so let's take a look at this for a minute. What do you think are your biggest handicaps? What do you want to talk about with me that you wanted to get coaching on?
It's really you said a lot when you said the time, and the time is right because I meet the people, but trying to make my time to do my inputs. I got a whole little list over here that I need to have the time to input, and the listings. And lately, I've been getting a lot of listings rather than so much as a lot of buyers, which buyers do take a lot of time. And
Yep.
like right now, I'm actually ended up paying someone. I usually have to pay someone to show for me because a lot of times it's just not convenient. And so
How
for
much
me,
how much are you paying them to show homes for you?
if they show two houses, I usually would pay. I was paying like $25 an hour. If
Okay.
somebody spent $25 an hour, if they to show two showings, I paid two showings yesterday. I think it was $50. And sometimes I would use because that's about what you would pay on. Are you familiar with Xiaomi?
Yep.
Okay, so if you do Xiaomi, that's usually about what your pay. If it's just about really one house, almost they'll charge you that. But I know a lot of friends in the realtors in the real estate business, and so a lot of people will show, and I'll just pick somebody that's in the area where the house is, if that's the case, and they'll show it for me. I don't do my own open houses. I had 4 houses open this past Saturday, and I did all the leg work for it, running around getting the signs out. So yeah, I could have used somebody doing that. You run around doing all that, putting all the signs out, and I did it Easter house hunting. And so I did baskets with plastic
That's
eggs
cool.
in them, and they had prizes in them,
Yeah.
so that whenever the people came to the houses, they got to choose from the basket, and every egg had candy in it or had a prize. So you either won maybe a free appraisal, free carpet cleaning, $100 off of filing your taxes for a tax company. So prizes like that's what I gave away. Then like some Chick-fil-A gift cards or whatever. You got the golden egg. It was like a Chick-fil-A gift card. And so anyway, so that's what I did, and we did it for like 2 hours on Saturday. So most of them were pretty successful. One of them I didn't get a chance to do myself,
Yep.
and I had to end up doing it myself. And I had a funeral, had a client that passed away, so I had to attend the funeral, and then I
Yep.
had to do open house. So time, I guess, is what I just gotta better, allocate my
Okay, so
time to paperwork.
I'm gonna do something here for a minute. I need to just ask you a question here, and because I'm gonna put this into my spreadsheet, but can you tell me what your current age is, love?
61. I mean 60. I'll be 61 in November.
Okay, how long do you think you're gonna work for?
I would say at least 10 years more.
Okay, so a lot of times people don't want to spend the money to bring in somebody else to help them. And so what we want to do is I want you to think about not just what the value of your time is right now. And what we look at is how much this is going to cost me right now for the money that I'm making right now. And I heard this interview with Elon Musk. It really got me thinking. And the interviewer said, "So what is your time worth right now?" And his answer was, "Well, if you consider what I do right now, what the worth is in 5 years from now, it's hundreds of millions of dollars a minute." Because he knows that the inputs that he's putting in now are going to be far more valuable than what he's actually doing right now. And it got me to thinking, well, that's the same thing for me. Like what I'm getting paid right now is different than if I'm putting the inputs in. What is the value of my time in the future? And so I want to just walk you through an exercise here. So if the average home is worth 200 in, or your average sales is $250,000 per year, commission is 2.5%. That's 6,250. Currently 60 years of age. Your retirement age is 75. And based upon this spreadsheet here, for every 7 people you have in your database, it's equal to 1 transaction. Okay, so if you put a new person in your database, that equates to almost $900 a year for every new true SOI, not an open house lead. Okay, that's different. But someone maybe that you're meeting at the church, someone at the community center, someone who's friends of friends that you have a connection with. Every person that you put in there is going to increase your annual revenue by about $900. Now, this is not 100% this year or next year. It's an average over time. But if you are going to be in business 15 more years, that one person that you meet and put into the database is worth $13,000 over the lifetime of the next 15 years. That's amazing, right?
It is.
Okay, so now if we take all of that information and let's just say it takes you 8 hours to generate one true SOI, which to me seems high, that means that your career earnings is about $1,600 an hour when you're building SOI. So that's the value of that time. Okay. So if we think of that, is there anything else that could make you more money than adding a new sphere of influence to your database?
No, I don't think it's anything else because the marketing has already helped me tremendously since joining with Fusion, because I've you guys are sending out information to people. I'm like, I didn't even know. I see people I hadn't seen in years, and they say, "Hey, I'm getting your marketing, and I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna sell my mom's house." And I was like, "Oh, okay, great." I was like, I didn't even know they were getting it. So
Okay.
it does
So
work.
so here's the thing that I want to talk about. I think that most likely we need to look for a backup dancer for you that
Okay,
is dedicated to you, because what we want is not someone who's just showing property. We want someone driving around talking about how amazing you are.
okay,
Okay. Their job is to build your image with your clients. Miss Marjorie is terrific. She's the kindest person in the world. She works harder than anybody else. She's a great negotiator. All of these things, as someone's driving around saying how wonderful you are, because you're paying them to do that, is elevating your brand with the people that they're helping. Okay. If
okay,
you're having the Showtime or someone else doing, they don't care. They're an Uber driver.
right,
Okay. And so we can do something on an hourly basis plus a bonus, or you can do it on a commission basis. But what then you have to do is once you have that person, and we have a spreadsheet. So you're meeting with people, you're doing the initial intake, you're negotiating the deal, and you're going to the closing. So you're at the beginning, the middle, and the end, the whole 9 yards. They're just filling in on opening properties, they're doing open houses, they're putting out the signs. We need to take that energy and for you to build it and to build your community. So are you a part of a church?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
It's a very
And
large congregation.
how big is that church? What's the
It's huge.
congregation?
It's we have 26 campuses and
Holy moly.
yes,
26 campuses.
26 campuses. It's a huge mega church, and we're in Alabama and some parts of Georgia, Columbus, Georgia.
Okay, what about your campus? How many people go to your campus?
My campus, I would say, see, 2,400. I would say probably at my campus, I would say probably, I would say 30,000.
How many?
Probably about 25 to 30,000. We have four services
Two
in
2,000 to 3,000?
no,
Just
25,000. We have
25
20
at your campus alone?
and my campus alone is the main campus and is
Holy moly.
really huge. And we have four services in our seating capacity in just one building. The main auditorium is about 2,400. And just
Wow.
like this particular past Sunday, we had four Sundays. We had a church all weekend, and every service was completely filled, and even to the theater and even to the chapel that we
Crazy.
have. So
All
it's a
right.
lot of people there. So I would say it's a
Is
good 25.
okay, so that's a great community for you. Do you have any causes that are really important to you?
Yeah, well, I participate in there's one that I do that's a cause that's helping people to actually working single parents to do school to graduate from college. And
Love
that's
it.
one cause that I do.
Is
And
it is it lo is it a local charity?
it is a local charity.
Okay, great. All right. So one of the things that if you can get away from some of that work, we can do some more events. Are you doing any events right now?
I am. I'm working on an event now for my client appreciation for the summer. And then I'll
Okay.
do another one in the winter.
Okay, so one of the things that I want to coach you on here is I do not want you to call it a client appreciation anymore.
Okay.
Okay. I would never go to a client appreciation party unless it was you because you're so sweet. But I want you to have a party that you invite your friends to.
Okay.
Okay. They're just people that are important to you, and you can raise some money at the same time for your charity that's important to you. Okay.
Okay.
And so it's, you're putting on this event, and what do you do at the event?
Well,
You food? Do you have food?
yes, it'll be food.
Okay.
Food, and if it's gonna be at the park, we're just gonna make it like a family day, and people, you people can bring their kids, and we'll have face painting, and some little jumping
Okay.
things around, maybe like a DJ or something. Just a
Okay.
day in the
So
park.
this is what I want you to do. So when is that event going to happen?
Looking for it. Just started in the early planning stages of it, so it would be probably in more than likely in June.
Okay, so we need to get going on this because if we're going to do it in June, we only have 2 months. So we need to start right away because we want to get all the marketing together and then we want a full month of marketing that event. Okay. And so this way you can leverage it and you're going to tie it into this charity. So you're having a party. And at the same time, you're going to raise, and it's going to be a great party. You're going to have barbecue, you're going to have face painting, be fun for the family and for the kids. And then you're going to set up some silent auctions, and you might get a couple of people who can sponsor the event for you, because that money is potentially going to the charity that you have. And then what we want to do is we want to have enough time that we want to be able to call through and just say, hey, I'm doing this event. I'm trying to raise some money for some single parents, and we're just going to have fun. You don't have to donate. Just come on out. I'd love to see you. That alone is so powerful. And as you meet more people, you can bring them. So who is your partnership executive?
Jason Rogers.
Jason. Okay, Jason Rogers. Wonderful. So we're going to want to plan around that. Okay. But we need to get a date set, the venue set, and then we want to market this for a good 30 days, maybe even 45 days. And I think that will be really powerful. So two things. We want to get you a backup dancer, and we want to leverage this event. No more client appreciation parties. It's you're doing something for the community and people can come participate, and you can talk about how great this charity is, and we can post on social media. How does that sound to you? Does that sound like a plan for you?
That sounds really good, but I would probably, because the one we were that what I was at, the one we were actually doing was going to actually be for a charity, but it was kind of in conjunction with our company. So I probably would want, if I'm going to do it all on my own, I can also get the support of the Hope organization so that they can help market it as well and make it a joint
Yes.
event with them. So,
Yes.
but I would
You're
probably have
expanding
to
your
do
network. You're expanding
right,
your network. And they're
yeah,
going to love you for it because you're now driving it because it's close to your heart.
right. So
Your
they would love
sister,
that. But
and
I would probably need that.
you can tell the story of your sister was disabled, widowed at a young age, and she needed help, and you were that support for her. But a lot of people don't have you, so where are they going to turn?
Right. My sister's
That's a
actually
powerful story. That's a powerful story. And they're going to be able to see the good in you and the marketing, and this is much more powerful. And then the other thing is we got to get you a backup dancer. Are you open to looking at that so you can spend more time on these types of things?
yeah, I'm interested in that because I've actually tried before, but it didn't work out. But yeah, I'm interested in that.
Sometimes you got to kiss some frogs to find your prince. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
It's if it doesn't succeed, you got to try again, because if we're going to get you to the 100, you've got to find someone who could work for you utilizing systems and processes. And some people may come work for you for 6 months. Some people might be with you for 5 years, but they might turn over. That's okay. And you just have to have the systems and the processes. So I'll talk to Jason about these two things. But what other questions? We're coming up to the end. Do you have any other questions for me? I hope this has been valuable to you and that you feel like it's been helpful.
Yes, it's been very valuable because I've been knowing, and my broker's been telling me the same thing that I really need to get an assistant to help me because I just don't have a lot of time with the paperwork and the cards and the more business I can do every day. I could do a lot more business, but I'm trying to
Yes,
do that. So
yes. You have to take the risk of hiring somebody. You have to take that risk for you to get to the next level.
okay, and I can work on the whole. But actually, my sister is on the board member of the Hope organization. She's
Yep,
she
I
we just
love it.
always, like I said, give back even in when she wasn't able. So she's been
I love it.
on that board for years. And so anyway, but there it is a great organization.
Marty, I so appreciate you coming in today. I'm so pleased that we're partnership together. You are an amazing person. I feel very blessed to know you and to be in business with you. And I'm going to be following up with you to make sure that you're doing the event, charitable event, that we get it planned, and
Okay.
that we're going to get something going. But I certainly appreciate you at a very high level, and I've really enjoyed my time with you today.